Gene. Our human bodies are merely a survival machine for our own genes. So claimed the evolutionary biologist Richard Dawkins in The Selfish Gene, published in 1976. Dawkins became famous for his work and effectively popularized a gene-centered view of evolution. He argues that genes are the primary unit through which natural selection and evolution progress, and that other biological units, specifically individuals and groups, are driven to act by genes, not the other way round. For Dawkins, organisms and groups of organisms are vehicles for gene replication, and the behavior of these individuals and groups can be explained as being in the best interest of the genes. To illustrate the way that Dawkins thinks things work, let's imagine a rowing regatta. Floating in the river is a flotilla of rowing boats. The bodies, they're survival machines of any living organism. And in each boat are the rowers, or genes. All the boats seem to be going in the same direction, downstream. But a number of factors come into play to impose constraints on the rowers, like the environment. A storm sinks a couple of boats. Cold weather retires a couple more. Any rowers who simply survive could be considered good enough to progress. But who are actually the best rowers? Unbeknownst to the rowers, there's a scout on the river bank. He represents natural selection, singling out who he considers to be the best rowers to take part in future regattas. He's measuring the rowers' worth based on their cooperative approach. Yet the rowers' actions, whilst appearing to be altruistic, are steering their boat in a way that suits their own purposes, not the boat's. In fact, Dawkins would say that they'd be just as willing to sink the boat if that was the optimum outcome from their point of view. But look, there's a speedboat moored at a jetty. A rower abandons the rowing boat, jumps aboard, again with self-interest in mind, and without any remorse, speeds off. It's an act of random genetic mutation. And why not? There are no rules or referee to say this can't be done. The rowers are free to self-police. That's why Dawkins used the word selfish to describe genes. He wasn't suggesting for 1 minute that genes have human-like conscious motives. Rather, genes, or rowers, are simply selfish in how they exert influence over the organisms, or boats, in which they reside.